in this wonderful study of Maca in reference to physical performance. I should say the outcomes. What researchers did is they initially looked at thousands of studies in which they whittled it down to 21 for the systematic review and 16 for the meta-analysis. Again, in reference to the outcome of improving physical performance. Now, there's an interesting side note in regard to Maca, and this is reference to Maca and the reduction of muscle lactic acid and blood lactic acid itself, which was quite fascinating. And that's where we believe a lot of the benefits from Maca were yielded in regard to physical performance, even more so than looking at the hormone spectrum. So we're going to look at the lactic acid spectrum in particular. Now, again, to reiterate, it was inconsequential the type of Maca that was utilized, but yet it was dose dependent. Again, we'll leave that for future studies itself. So let us begin without further ado. Effect of Maca, Lepidium, meyenii, on physical performance in animals and humans, a systematic review and meta-analysis. 21 studies were included in the systematic review and 16 in the meta-analysis. They revealed a large effect for all outcomes. Conclusions. The phytochemical compounds of, when you see LMW, which is Lepidium meyenii, I'm going to basically substitute Maca in its place for simplicity. Mainly, macamides increase physical performance, showing a greater effect at higher doses, a dose-response effect. Dose-response effect. To proceed, similar in vitro and in vivo animal research has shown that Maca supplementation reduces fatigue, increases physical performance, and improves antioxidant capacity. We're going to go a little bit into the backstory. As indicated by biochemical parameters associated with physical exercise, this has led athletes to search for natural ergogenic aids to explore the effects of supplements such as Maca to improve physical performance, post-exercise recovery, and injury prevention. Specifically, some human research has shown the positive effects of Maca supplementation on specific physical tests such as cardiovascular endurance. In addition, previous studies have shown that the higher dose of Maca has a greater effect on cellular oxidative stress. However, despite the existing evidence, the effect size of different Maca strains and doses on physical performance in animals and humans is unknown. Again, we're going to do the backstory. Consequently, the primary objective of this systematic review and meta-analysis was to review studies published up to 2024 that have investigated the use of Maca as a nutritional ergogenic aid in animals and humans. A secondary objective was to determine the effect size of the different doses administered to identify patterns and guide future research. Now, to reiterate, this is the types of Maca they looked at, as you could see. But now let's proceed. The study results showed that supplementation of Maca, regardless of the type and format used, increases the time to exhaustion following a dose-dependent pattern. I wanted to highlight there. Now, a few other highlights in regard to lactic acid, which is quite fascinating. But to proceed as well. The effect of muscle lactic acid levels. Evidence indicates that Maca administration may reduce lactic acid accumulation in muscles during high-intensity exercise, possibly due to its antioxidant and adaptogenic properties. Previous research has shown that bioactive compounds present in Maca, such as macamides and macenes, mitigate exercise-induced oxidative stress by neutralizing reactive oxygen species generated during intense muscle contraction. This antioxidant effect could favor intramuscular pH recovery, limit fatigue by reducing accumulation, lactic acid accumulation, facilitate faster muscle recovery, and improve the efficiency of anaerobic metabolism. Accordingly, quoting, our research suggests that Maca primarily improves high-intensity and prolonged exercise tolerance by acting as an intracellular buffer. And it shows figure 7, which I'll show you in a second too. The effect of lactic acid on the blood. The decrease in the blood lactic acid level suggests that Maca improves the body's ability to recycle lactate through gluconeogenesis in the liver, which could extend exercise time to fatigue. From a physical performance standpoint, the ability of Maca to regulate systemic blood lactic acid concentrations is relative for athletes seeking to optimize their performance in predominantly anaerobic, high-intensity sports where lactate control is a limiting factor for physical performance. Interesting how it helps extend that endurance out. Now, on the strength test, Maca supplementation could reduce the concentration of reactive oxygen species, ROS, during muscle contraction, mainly by increasing the secretion of antioxidant enzymes such as superoxide dismutase, glutathione peroxidase, reduced glutathione, and catalase. Quite intriguing. And also, too, now I want to show you a figure. This is the figure that they were alluding to, as you can see. But now, let us proceed to our conclusion. The results showed that Maca supplementation improves physical performance as manifested in different physical tests, with an increase in efficacy as the dose increases. It was also demonstrated that the higher the dose of Maca, the greater the effect on physical performance, manifested in increased time in the forced swimming test, the rotor rod test, basically grip strength test, as well as lower lactic acid and blood lactic acid levels themselves. Quite fascinating, because you don't normally think of basically Maca working through that particular pathway. And so it's quite intriguing. Now, I know we didn't go through dosages because there's so many studies covered through here that dosages can vary. So I'm going to leave that up to you to research. Please forgive me. But still, just the same, I don't want to add publisher bias. But that was quite fascinating. So with that in mind, now when you think of Maca and you think of lactic acid levels in the muscle and the blood and how it can help regulate that, it adds a whole new dimension to the possibility of use in regard to Maca as an ergogenic aid. Again, gratitude to the researchers. Fascinating review. I am humble you watch and look forward to seeing what you and I discover next week. I'll catch you all next time. See you then. Bye.